Can your spouse use your VA loan without you? Well, in this video, we're going to answer that question and a few other things you're going to want to know about adding your spouse to the loan. You may want to rethink it. Just depends. Stick around. Yes and no, depends. So what do I mean? Well, it depends. Are they a veteran themselves? If they are a veteran themselves, then yes, they can be on the loan without you, or vice versa. If they are not a veteran, then no, they cannot be using the VA loan without you, unless there's certain situations. Number one, you become a POW. That is a prisoner of war. Number two, you are classified as MIA, that is missing in action. Number three, you pass away in service or due to service-related disabilities. Number four, you are totally disabled from service and pass away to unrelated causes. Those are four reasons, four ways for your spouse to be able to use that VA loan without you, which is not good because that means you probably won't be here. We don't want that to happen, but those are four ways that a spouse could use a VA loan if they are not a veteran themselves. Very important to know this because this does happen, and I do have questions from a lot of people about whether or not they can use the loan. Their husband's passed away or the wife has passed away. I've had both situations come up. So it's important that you know that the answer is it depends. For most people, if the spouse is not a veteran and they want to use the VA loan, they cannot use the VA loan without the actual veteran. Well, if your spouse has bad credit. So let's say you are the veteran, you have 800 credit score, your spouse has 550, 600, 625, right? Lenders are going to use the lower score to qualify you on, which means the lower score, just say it's 625, you have 800, your loan is going to be based off of the 625. It's going to be based off that lower score, which means higher interest rates, possibly higher fees, and just an overall more expensive loan. So you may want to say, you know what? I don't want to have my spouse on the loan. Now, keep in mind, whether your spouse is on the loan or not does not matter for a VA loan. Whatever debt your spouse has that you don't have on your credit report, a lender is going to take your spouse's debt and add it to your debt when they're calculating the debt to income ratio. Now, they're not going to be on the loan, so their credit score is not going to affect the loan, but their debt could affect the loan. It could keep you from qualifying. It could keep you from getting maybe a better interest rate if your debt to income ratio is a little bit higher than what we would like it to be as a lender, or any lender for that matter. So I hope that makes sense. They do not have to be on the loan, but if you're married, the debt for your spouse will get added to your debt when calculating a debt to income ratio. So if you want to have your spouse on there and they have good credit, well, number one, it's going to increase the amount of income that you have because now you're combining your income with their income, right? It's going to now reduce your debt to income ratio, possibly. Typically, the more income, debt to income ratio is going to be a little bit lower. But if your spouse has a lot of debt that you don't have jointly, that could affect your DTI, your debt to income ratio, in a negative way. Save on interest is another thing that you want to keep in mind, that if you've got great credit, they have great credit, and you guys combine your income, well, if your debt to income ratio gets lowered, then you're going to be in a better situation to be able to get typically a better interest rate, because now you have a lower debt to income ratio because you have two incomes and you are now in a lower tier as far as debt to income ratios go. If you're in the 20s, 30s, that's ideal for a VA loan. However, VA loans can go up to 50. I've seen 60 as far as the back end on a debt to income ratio. So don't let that stop you or discourage you from looking into getting a VA loan. Now, keep in mind, this is just one part that you need to know as it relates to the VA loan. Adding a spouse, not adding a spouse. There's more information that you need to know as it relates to the VA loan. And you're gonna find that on this next video over here. Go check that out, and do me a favor, tag someone in the comments that needs to hear this information. I want you to share with the community and get this information out to as many veterans as we possibly can, because you deserve it. We deserve it. We need to be educated way more on the benefits, especially when it comes to VA loans. Share this, tag someone, and go check out this next video. I'll see you over there.